Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name is Bob. I'll be chatting with you tonight. This is a live stream kind of channel update. Let me just double check things, make sure everybody's good. Looks like we're on. Yeah, look, we're on live. Yeah, perfect. Welcome, YouTube chat. We got a couple people watching right now. Welcome, Grim Gary. How's it going? Always good to see you. So no game tonight. It's Tuesday, August, what is it, 8th? Yeah, August 8th. I just want to do a quick little live chat here on YouTube to talk about some updates on the channel, some things that are going on, celebrate some things too. We got 2K subscribers. That was a big milestone. So lots of stuff here to chat about. Let's get some music from Tabletop Audio for a sec here. Let's try this one here. Adventure has not begun, but adventure begins. The title of the song here. The adventure has begun here. Yeah, that's nice for now. Maybe lower just a tad. Usually use Tabletop Audio for all my games. It's an awesome it's a streaming music site. Great stuff. You can use it in your RPGs. Let's see here. Chris, how's it going? Bonus Tuesday with Bob. That's right. Yeah. No pesky players to mess things up either. So yeah, we'll give it a minute to get more people, and I see more people are piling into the stream here. But yeah, some quick shout outs. I got an itinerary of things I want to talk about here. So quick shout out. So we did have a bunch of new patrons this month. We had Otto and Death of Fog in the last week or so. So welcome aboard. Yeah, the Patreon is pretty good. We also have the Patreon game that's been going on. It's been filled up since like the beginning, but it's 5 players, and we've had them play through the Red Hand of Doom. That's been a lot of fun. That's a third adventure module that I've been using, converting over to 5th edition. It's been a lot of fun, and the Patreon is really cool. I don't really try to promote the Patreon too much, especially during the streams, the live plays, because it's all about the story there. I don't really want to stop and mention stuff, but I guess I could do it now because this is kind of like an update on the channel. But if you haven't checked out the Patreon before, I suggest you do so. It's a good way to support the channel more directly. I know a lot of people, when they like something, they want to support it, and it's not always. I'm not looking to take money. It basically is a way to help keep the channel going, keep costs down. If I want to run something, I need a book or resource. I can get it, without having to think about it. That's really the key here. It's getting loud. I don't know. It's loud on my end here. The music. Let me know how the music is for you all. It's kind of hard to tell. Turn my voice up a little bit. Greyhawk Exile, welcome. Yeah, the Patreon. I should try to promote my stuff a little bit more, but it feels funny. But I'll do it now. So Patreon, links down below. You can check it out. Just got a Ko-fi donation from Chris from Long Island. Thank you again. Always appreciate the support. I just saw it. I didn't get a chance to go in and write you a thank you, but I will do soon. Music is fine there? Okay, good. Maybe I'll put it back up. Maybe it was just my headset. Although it's a little too trepidatious for me right now. It's like feels like we're in an Indiana Jones movie here. Let's see if I can find something a little bit more subtle here. There we go. Highlands. Let's see here. Lordy Sparker, welcome. I don't recognize that name. Welcome. Hey, Ryan's in the chat. My brother Ryan's here. Nice to see you, Ryan. Yeah, Chris from Long Island, you're absolutely right with that take. I won't shout it out loud if anybody doesn't want a spoiler from Tomb of Horrors, but let's do some updates here now. We got a bunch of people watching. So I did the shout outs for the Patreon. New members Otto and Death of Fog. If you're interested in supporting the channel, check down links below. D&D. Let's talk about D&D. So we've been playing the Tomb of Horrors, which has been going awesome for the last, I think, what is it, 5 sessions, 4.5, if you count last week's. But yeah, if you've been watching along, you kind of know how I've structured it. I didn't want it to be like just like a game, right? I didn't want it to be like, all right, you start at the beginning of the module, Tomb of Horrors. If you've played it before, you know it, you've read through it, you know how it is. It feels like a game, right? It's just like almost could be a board game. And I didn't want it to be like that. Obviously, we're trying to put out some entertainment, sort of like a show, right? So I created this little, essentially a prologue, a way to get the characters to the tomb, and it took us 3 sessions. Three, I'd say, roughly 2-hour sessions. So probably if we were playing in person and we didn't have to start and stop and things like that, we probably would have just played through that introduction, the whole way. It would have been like maybe a 4.5-hour game, and we would have played, the way D&D is supposed to be played, right, in person at a table. But, with our technology constraints, we made it 3 small episodes, and then now they're here. They're at the tomb, and we had 1 proper episode in the tomb, and it was awesome. It was hilarious to see them kind of find their way, or maybe lose their way through that for the first introduction to the tomb. And now we had some technology errors going on actually really mostly not on our side. It was Roll20 the other night. If you checked into the stream on Wednesday, it was a short half-hour stream where basically Patron Roll20 was basically had outages. It was out for, I think, over an hour. It was over an hour in total. So we were waiting, try to get it in, and I think it might have even went back on right by the end of the stream, but Chris was having some tech issues with his Wi-Fi. He was camping and he was using his hotspot, and it's usually not good. Chris had told us this ahead of time, and he said, honestly, if it doesn't work, play without me, but he was there for the beginning, and so we did Sunny's Fate. That's the title of the episode. You see what happened to Nate's character. No spoilers, go and check it out, but we'll be picking back up with the action on Wednesday, tomorrow, the 9th. Let's see here. Grim Gary says, just like Keep, Tomb would be boring without adding some good spices and herbs to it. Yeah, I think a lot of these older adventures are very similar because they assume, or maybe the word assume, they presume, because at the time it was just like, you're heroes, you're going on this adventure, and that's it, right? That's the story that was planned. So I don't think it in a more modern sense, just like kind of how TV and movies evolve, the game has evolved. And there's, especially putting content out here on YouTube, we try to have an emphasis on the story and the characters and things like that. So we just wanted to add something to it, something to make it more of a story, more of a entertainment piece than just a game. And I think we did a good job. I will actually definitely do some Q&A later in the this chat, so let me know if you have any questions, and I'll answer them as we go. Sometimes if it's not on topic, I'll save them for the end, but I'll answer this one right now. So Goodman Games, Lord Sparker has the Isle of Dread. Yes, I actually no, it's not by my computer, but I do have it. It's definitely in my my back room. It's got my bookshelf, all my D&D books on it. I have that. I have all the Goodman games, actually. All of them. I think they've released 5 remakes for 5e, and I have them all. I've read through almost all of them. The only one I haven't even really touched, and I got for Christmas, was the Temple of Elemental Evil. I honestly know so very little about that adventure. It's one of the few old school adventures that I really haven't looked into. I haven't read every old school adventure, and one of my patrons, Joseph, I'll shout him out. He has a massive collection of all the old TSR games and publications and magazines, and I know if I need something, I could probably go to him. But it's fantastic to have all those old resources. I love the old books, even though I don't have them all or read them. I kind of know a little bit. I've looked into a lot of the adventures. I want to run so many of them, but time is a real factor here. And yeah, Chris from Long Island, of course. I want to get. We'll talk about some reunions coming up soon, but let me talk about what's going on the channel right now. Some things going on up to date. D&D, other than Tomb of Horrors, which we're actually using Shadow Dark rules for. like D&D 5e, I haven't really played all that much. It's really the Patreon game that I've been doing, D&D 5e, like truly. But I gotta say, most of the summertime for me, a lot of it is I mean, I shouldn't say a refocus because I play Warhammer all year long, but kind of a refocus on Warhammer. I have a little more time working at camp, and I'm doing Warhammer a lot. So we go to a yearly tournament, the American Team Championships. I posted it on Instagram and social media, but I got my trophy right here. Our gaming club Battle for Salvation, we got 5th place. Let me see if this comes up on the... There it is. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah. We got 5th place at the American Team Championships. That was in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And it's been a lot of Warhammer as of late. A lot of Warhammer. There was a new edition drop, learning the rules, trying to prepare an army. It took a lot out of me for the last month and a half or so. So that's been a lot of my focus. But, obviously still doing games. And I did put a pause on the new games series just because my other the other hobbies, right? I had to have something. But summertime's always busy. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's always things. So I tried to kind of pare it down for the summer, just have the one game going. And it's been pretty good. I gotta say, I've been able to manage a lot. It's been a lot of fun getting back into the other hobbies, getting to painting and building and stuff like that for Warhammer. But I do have a lot of stuff coming up. So some channel updates. 2K subs, that's awesome. We're gonna keep it going, keep it rolling to 3K. When it comes to what's performed really well on the channel, I say the Shadow Dark has been amazing. It's been really well. The Wavestone Monolith has done really well. All my other new games actually have done probably just as good, if not better, than most of the other streams. So I definitely want to bring back the new games. I want to play more of these different systems and showcase them and learn how to play, so to speak. Right? We kind of learned how to play Call of Cthulhu. We kind of learned how to play End of the World RPG. We did Shadow Dark, Star Trek. So all those things were like brand new and a lot of fun. So we're gonna keep that going. I guess I could do one reveal right now. Let's jump to it. So one thing I'll say with some of these new reveals here, some of the details are not 100% certain, but I feel comfortable to share these two. So the first one is, here we go. This kind of ties in, I think, real well with what we've been talking about here. So we're going to be doing Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory. We did, oh man, this is going to be so much fun. If you've never heard of Wrath and Glory, it's made by Cubicle 7. It's going to be like we've been doing these short 3-4 session games, really kind of like a one shot, but broken up over a couple of weeks. And that's coming in September. Originally, the plan was to get that done in June, so it didn't work. It was just end of school year, crunch time for work, and then, like I said, getting ready for ATC, doing all those things. But we're going to definitely do that, Wrath and Glory, and the cast is going to be awesome. We've got some Warhammer 40K players on it. We've got Chris from Keeping the Borderlands Tomb of Horrors, my cousin Joey, who started to play Warhammer when I did, 18 long years ago, and Andrew, British Andrew. He obviously plays in Icewind Dale and a bunch of other series here on the channel. We're all 40K players. We all played, started many years ago, and we're 40K experts. But then we're also going to bring on Dasha, who has no idea about 40K, and it's going to be great to see how she figures out the world. Yeah, it's grim dark, for sure. Absolutely. But no flubbing of rules. None. Welcome, Indestructible Boy. Good to see you here. Thank you. Appreciate the congratulations. It's been... not sure what that was for, actually. Was it for winning 5th place or for 2K subs? But either way, thank you. But yeah, for Warhammer Wrath and Glory. Let me put the picture up one more time. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, and this is tame for like Warhammer 40K art. It's just a bunch of orcs. My brother played orcs. I loved killing orcs. Look at this. you got a Space Marine up here. You've got your like Primaris Marine. You've got the Inquisitor or some sort of Ordo Malleus, something like that here. Rogue Trader, Tech Priest. Just slaughtering these orcs. No spoilers though what the adventure is going to be about because I'm still deciding. So I can't spoil it because I don't know what it's going to exactly be. I actually reached out to Cubicle 7 and they sent me a whole bunch of stuff, which was really cool. Nice to see the support from a company. But they sent me a bunch of stuff, really cool, just like the rules and some adventure modules, things like that. And we'll be shouting them out and playing one of them. Got to figure out which one I really want to play, but that's coming. And like I said, I know this one for sure. But the other games that I'm going to do, and I want this to be, keep that series going, right? Learn some new games. I want to put on, we're going to have Dungeon Crawl Classics. I have been looking into DCC for a long time, so we're going to run one of those. I think I'm almost narrowed down with the crew for that one. And then hopefully by the end of December, I'd like to do Morkborg. Or Morkbore, whatever it's probably pronounced there, Merkborg, something like that. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of stuff. So those are the new games for the fall, I would say, right? Fall. It's going to be Wrath and Glory, Dungeon Crawl, and then eventually Morkborg. Those are 3 games I've been looking into playing for a long time, and I haven't had a chance to play them. And that we're going to learn live here. So that's my goal. Those are probably going to be coming on, I think, Wrath and Glory is probably going to be Tuesdays while Keep is going. Keep. Jeez, I messed that one up. Tomb Before Us. While Tomb Before Us is going. I'm not sure exactly when Tomb is going to end. It could end very soon if they all make some bad decisions. But I think Tomb is probably going to go for another 10, 12 episodes. That would be my thought, right? The pace that we go at and the hours that we play, I think probably we're looking at 15 sessions. That would be my thought. And we've already done 4.5 or 5. So 10 sessions is what I'm thinking. But look, if you've played Tomb, it's not a big dungeon, but if you're really being careful and you're trying to play it in a smart way, it can take some time in real life time. So I think, and I don't want to slow them down. I don't want to, or speed them up, excuse me. I want them to go at their natural rate. So I'm thinking 10 episodes, but, I could be wrong, which leaves us kind of towards the end of October is when Tomb would finish, if that's the case. And so probably in September, we'll start Wrath and Glory. So maybe sometime by the end of October, jump into Dungeon Crawl Classics. And then hopefully, like I said, by the end of December, we can get into Morkborg. That would be the new game lineup, if that makes any sense. Let's see, any other... Yeah, wouldn't just looking at the chats here. The Grim Gary says that October 31st would be a good day to end the Tomb. Let's see, is that a possibility? Could it be? Wow, it is. It's a Tuesday. Oh no, we play on Wednesdays. But I guess, yeah, make it special. But actually, I probably wouldn't want to play on Halloween because I got kids and probably be trick-or-treating and doing things like that. But yeah, maybe not. But right around there, right around the spooky time, sure. Maybe by November 1st or the 25th of October, that could be doable. Yeah, that'd be right on the nose, like 10 sessions. So just a quick update on the schedule then. We're playing tomorrow, but then I'm going to be away. So we're not going to be playing the 16th and the 23rd, and then we're going to come back on the 30th. We're going to take a little break, come back on the 30th, and then let's see. Yeah, so if we're playing on the 30th, that means there's 1, 2. Just checking the calendar. 2 sessions in August left, and then it's 4 in September and 4 in October. So yeah, 10 sessions looks like the end of October. Could be the end of Tomb, but who knows? I'm so bad at this. You all know the ongoing joke is like I say, 4 sessions and it ends up 8. So we'll see. Let's see here. Jason Farrell says, I know very little of Warhammer 40k. Oh, well, you're about to learn a lot more. Yeah. 40k is awesome. Like, even if you don't play the game, because I get it, Warhammer can be a commitment. It takes a lot of time and money to get into it. I mean, I put hobbies in, their own category. It's not just a game, right? It's a hobby. You're not just picking up a couple of books and playing. If you want to get into golf, you want to get into tennis, you want to get into any sort of sport, team activity, you're going to most likely end up putting some money, right? It's, whether it's equipment and lessons or paying for, ice time, rink time, whatever it is, whatever hobby you're doing, it's going to cost you some money. Yeah, there are cheaper hobbies and not, but they're expensive hobbies, and that's okay. Warhammer, though, is a hard one to get into, I think, for the time investment, mostly. It's you're building and painting models, you're playing the game, but even if you don't get into the hobby or the game aspect of it, the lore is so extensive. Warhammer 40k was created in 1987, and it's just grown exponentially since. Games Workshop, the company who runs it, has their own publishing company, the Black Library. They create novels, hundreds of novels dedicated to to this world. It's grimdark, super futuristic, but like the technology is advanced, but it's also been in some ways more primitive. It's just a great mix of like fantasy and sci-fi. It's just awesome. Definitely worth checking out. The Horus Heresy is a series that I have read a bunch of novels in. It's a really good series to check out. It kind of gives you the background of the setting. There's a big civil war between these factions of genetically enhanced super soldiers. It's just great. It's awesome. You'll learn a lot more as we play through the game, because it's yeah, I mean, even all the adventures I've looked through so far, they all kind of touch on the background of the setting, and the setting is really, I think, Warhammer's bread and butter. Their intellectual property is really, really solid. Yeah, so good, and I can't wait to see how these players, especially the really veteran 40k players, they know a lot about the lore and the setting, and how they mixes with Dasha, who doesn't know much about anything, but should be cool. Cool, check it out. Yeah, you love BattleTech. Fritz loves BattleTech. Fritz is a big BattleTech guy. If you haven't checked out Wargamer Fritz, go to YouTube, type in Wargamer Fritz, you'll find him. If you check any of the old Keep on the Borderlands, I put his link down below. Miss Fritz, but he's his work schedule's keeping him busy, but he knows a lot about BattleTech. Yeah, funny you say that, Grim Gary. So Grim Gary says there's a character. Warhammer's a lot of old school Warhammer's based on parody of pop culture, and there's a guardsman named Sly Marbo, who is 100% a parody of Sylvester Stallone's Rambo, right? Like there's a whole faction, the Catachans, which is actually my second army that I ever started collecting, was the Catachans. I have a massive pewter metal Catachan army, and it's glorious. I've had them for 17 years now. They were like I said, the second army. Started with Necrons, and then I played Guard for a long time, and I stayed with those two factions for quite some time before I started getting into Space Marines, and now I play Chaos. Now I'm just horrible. I'm horrible, so play mostly Chaos armies, but I've got to get back to the old Catachans soon. All right, so that's the new shows, like new game shows coming out this fall, right? Warhammer, Dungeon Crawl, and Morkborg. Now for campaigns, right? Not just a small glimpse into a system here. I said this earlier. I don't know how much D&D, like true D&D, that I want to really do, right? We've got there's 6th edition of D&D coming out, which I'm not thrilled about, I'm not excited about, but I'm not opposed to learning it either. I mean, I know that during the whole OGL fiasco earlier this year, Wizards of the Coast lost a lot of favor, but I mean, look, they did cave, and even though it was forced upon them, they did do something that was good, right? Putting things into SRD, but for the most part, I just haven't been excited for Wizards of the Coast products. There was that Keys of the Golden Vault and a couple other things, and I do kind of maybe want to run one of those adventures, the Icewind Dale adventure. Maybe it could be something I tie in for a reunion. Speaking of reunions, right? I want to get the Icewind Dale crew back for something. Really want to get maybe the Witchlight crew back for something eventually, and then at some point, not right now because I feel like we're still pretty close. So we'll get to the Keep on the Borderlands people in a reunion sometime, but that's not going to happen just yet. So for right now, I'm really happy with Shadow Dark as the main game we're playing. But, look, 5th edition is eventually going to go out. I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, exactly with who stays and who doesn't play certain games. But, when 4th edition came out, a ton of people still wanted to play 3.5, right? Then they made Pathfinder, and they kept with that. And that became its own big, huge system. I don't know what's going to happen when 5th edition goes away. Are people going to stick with 5th edition? Is there going to be something else? Or is it going to be, something else going to take its place? Will people just migrate to 6th? Does that be the thing? Who knows? Look, if 6th edition is really, really good, I mean, I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna play it, and I'll probably put it here on the channel. But as of right now, and I don't want to really look into like the Unearthed Arcana. I don't want to like think about any of that stuff because I just don't have the brain capacity to like at this point put stuff in my mind that's going to be maybe not even in the final cut. But I'm not 100% against 6th edition. So here's my thought, right? So because I'm just going to get the graphics set up because I'm going to put the announcement here. So because 5th edition is ending, 6th edition is coming. I do want to put something 5th edition still on the channel, one at least perhaps for the last time, right? The last 5th edition thing, if that's the route that we go. I'm not saying this is what we're doing, but just in case that's the route we go, I want to end 5th edition with a bang. And I've had so many of my players just like asking to play this adventure. So I'll put the graphic up. Here's the big announcement for the fall of 2023. We're going to be playing Curse of Strahd. We've got Andrew, Michelle, Stefano, and Tim. So it's an awesome cast. We're going to be playing the full module, obviously. I think, personally, that Curse of Strahd has really never been out of the top spot for modules in 5th edition. It is probably one of the best and well-written modules. It's a great spin on a classic, the Ravenloft setting. I think it's got it all, right? It really does. It's up my alley with the horror and everything, and I've run Curse of Strahd before, which is why I never really wanted to put it on the channel. I just, like I said, I want to end 5th edition. None of the new books really catch me. The only one that I would ever want to replay would probably be Curse of Strahd. Because Curse of Strahd, if you don't know, it's one of the only adventure modules that I feel like every time you play, depending on the Taroka deck or how you structure the Taroka deck, it could actually be very different. Now, there's going to be some beats that are always the same, right? Ravenloft, the castle's there. There's certain things that are going to be there. And Michelle played in my one-shot Ravenloft in Supernatural 20, but that was such an abbreviated, small little thing that I don't think it's going to affect anything. Her knowledge and most everything from that is kind of like the original Ravenloft, right? So like everyone knows the basic stuff of that. If you know anything about D&D's history, you kind of know the basic structure of Ravenloft. So I'm not too worried. The rest of Curse of Strahd is going to be completely new to her and the rest of the group. So Andrew's been wanting to play that one for a long time. He's asked me to run it, and Stefano also as well. And Tim, before the summer, Tim was like, hey, I really would love to play in that. So I think we're looking to do it right. And I've ran it before, but like I said, I'm going to do the Taroka deck a little differently. We'll see where some things shake out and then go from there. So it'll be a new experience for me in a way, and definitely a good first time, I hope, for them. I think it's going to be fun. It'll also be the first time I've ever run a module for a second time. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Is it going to be easier? It could be. maybe I'll be more meticulous, and I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna feel as I'm in it, but I'm excited to play through it. I really like it. Like I said, when I first played it, I played it in 2017. I ran it for CJ, Steph, Steve, Kyle, and who else was in it? Oh, and Jeff. Yes, that was it. The 5. So you know all of them. They've all been on the channel before. CJ, Steve, Jeff, Stephanie, and Kyle. So all friends at the channel. They've been in it, and we ran it at the gaming club. We had a great time. We ran through the whole adventure, and we had an epic, like, I think it was like 6.5, 7 hour finale at my house. It was great. It was really fantastic. But it was a long time ago, so I will have to do a little bit of some light reading to catch myself up. Even though I've ran it before, I'll need some reminders here. Let's get to the chat here. I haven't been looking at it for a little bit. Let me bring it up here. Let's see here. Some other suggestions, I think these are suggestions, probably. So Star Wars West End games, D6, Jason Farrell says. Yeah, so Star Wars, I feel like I've talked about this on the channel before. I can't remember, but I ran a lot of Star Wars, the D20 edition, whatever it was, when 3rd edition D&D came out. It was like the same rules as 3rd edition D&D. It was like, Wizards of the Coast produced it, and it was like just like D20 Modern. It was like the like D&D 30, 3E. Jeez, it was great, and we ran that a lot. So I feel like in my life I've ran so much Star Wars that it doesn't necessarily interest me right now, but I've heard good things about that West End Games one. Honestly, the new age, this is Grim Gary, the new age of TTRPGs post OGL debacle has been the best thing ever for new content. Yeah, and you're talking about Shadow Dark especially. Yeah, I mean, obviously Shadow Dark's fantastic. I really had wished that I ended up doing it before, but I kind of put a pause on the Bob Talks series just because it's hard. The interview series is not easy. Like, it looks easy, just sit down and chat, but like, you've all seen interviews where like, it's just one long uncut thing, right? And it's just two people's heads, and that doesn't interest me. So like when I did it, I tried to edit it, have different angles where it's like the person talking back to the group and adding in graphics and things like that. And that all takes a long time, and I just don't have the interest. But I really wanted to get Kelsey on to talk about Shadow Dark, like literally like a year and a half ago. Wish I had done that, because I think I've been a big fan of her stuff, and it would have been cool to see before the big surge here that Shadow Dark had to try to promote it even more. But yeah, I wish we had done that. But love Shadow Dark, love it. It's a lot of fun. It's easy to get into. There's a lot more complexity. I think it shows at face value. If a lot of people just played it once on a one shot, they might not really see that. We've been playing now with the Tomb characters at 8th level. There's a lot of complexity. So I think it's really good. It's really good. Let's see here. Oh, Jason, you have a beef with Curse of Strahd. You were TPK'd in that one. Oh boy. Where did you get TPK'd? At the end? If it's at the end, it's not so bad. If it's at the old Bone Grinder, because that was a tough one. I could see you being a little peeved. I'm glad you still want to see it. Yeah. Okay, Chris, yeah, you're familiar with Ravenloft, but not Chris. So basically what they did with Ravenloft is they took that premise of this, like, kind of like a one-shot or a mini adventure into a full-blown campaign. They've expanded the areas. They have the nearby cities, but it's still very much Ravenloft, but more to it. And instead of you kind of getting those items earlier in the game or in the castle right away, they kind of have you kind of search for them and meet some of the locals, and you get to really see the curse that Strahd has put on Barovia and all the inhabitants. But yeah, I mean, it's actually a really great adventure. I mean, there's so much to it. It's in my mind, it's always been like number one. And Tomb of Annihilation and Icewind Dale, those were the two other 5th edition books that really, in my mind, pushed it, gave it a run. I think structurally it's just so perfect, Curse of Strahd. But if you were to ask me what my favorite one is now, I think it could be a little bias of playing it on the channel, but Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden, probably my favorite 5th edition module. But we'll see. I ran this one a long time ago, 6 years ago, so let's see it happen. And then let's see here, Chris Mullen. So no matter what version 6 is, don't give them classic D&D modules. No, I mean I feel like I'm an old school kind of person at heart. I'm not that old. I'm 36. I wasn't around for like the original D&D movement. I wasn't around, wasn't alive. But I've always feel like I like things that were the generation before me. I would kind of wish I was like my sister's age, like a decade older, because music wise, I mean, I love music from the 80s, 90s, that sort of stuff. Movies, all the older movies. I'm a big fan of older things, and I would love to play all these old school adventures. Time is really the thing that kills me, but I will do my best to keep the old school modules coming for sure. Yeah, I'm young, 36. Out of the Abyss, Jason says. Out of the Abyss. I've read through Out of the Abyss. I thought about really running it. I was very much considering running it in 2018 at the gaming club, and I just it didn't catch me. I like the idea of you starting as prisoners and having nothing and things like that, but it just felt weird. It almost has what Descent into Avernus has the issue with is the Underdark or the Abyss, whatever, and the Underdark, I guess. But either way, the Abyss, the Nine Hells, they all have this in your mind, what that would look like, and then when you actually get there and experience it as a player and the DM, it's a little more tame than you thought. It's a little more like any other D&D setting, just with a different skin on it. And I don't like that. It just kind of ruins it because the expectations don't match up. It's one thing if you Curse of Strahd and it's it's Barovia, or Icewind Dale, and you're going to Icewind Dale. I mean, they're real. I know Curse of Strahd it's in the Shadow Dark and stuff like that, but or the Shadow Realm. What? Oh my gosh, what is it? Shadow Dark. That's the game. It's the what should we call it? Shadowlands is what I would say. Anyway, but yeah, you know what I mean. It's these don't have the same context as the Abyss or the Nine Hells and what I think they should be. And yeah, the Underdark. Maybe that's what I was. I don't know. I'm confused. But either way, I think I won't run out of the Abyss just yet. But maybe at some point. All right, so those are the new shows. So we talked about the new shows. Curse of Strahd is going to be the new campaign that's going to take over after Tomb of Horrors, which could be around Halloween time. That'd be kind of cool start for Curse of Strahd, I think. And that's a longer campaign, right? You could probably do Curse of Strahd depending on how long your sessions are, and probably 20 sessions, 25 sessions. You probably could, but when we play with 2.5 hours, but realistically it's 2 and 15 of gameplay, it's probably going to take us longer than that. So that might be a year-long game. That might be from Halloween to Halloween, which would be kind of, I think, poetic. White Plume Mountain, Castle Amber, lots of suggestions here. Yeah, I mean, at some point. I know Castle Amber has been requested a number of times. It's a crazy adventure. It kind of has a Strahd feel to it, actually. I'll be honest. It really does. All right, so those are the big reveals. Now let's talk a little bit about some other things thinking about in the future here. So obviously, in the fall and everything, I want to get into more regular routine with making recorded videos. I've said this a number of times that I really want to return to the Descent into Avernus series, finish that DM's Guide. I mean, it's not really relevant at this point. Most people watching it are people who are just playing it now, but it's not, I don't think it's going to, really get the views, but I do want to complete it because I don't want to leave it out there. And then my goal was this summer to really start on the Keep on the Borderlands run through DM Guide. Again, none of these are pressing. They're not necessarily something that needs to be, done right at this moment, but I want to get them done, and I actually want to do them. I'm really passionate about the keep one. I feel like that one, once I get started, I will just kind of maybe just record all of them and then just release them, every other week or so, just to have them out. That kind of is my plan with that. So this the end of the year, I hope to finish all those and just, save in an hour or two to each week to just dedicate it to writing and getting those scripts done and then recording it, editing it. The thing is, like I said, with the interview series, it just takes a long time, right? And that's the key. Streaming and stuff, it's just like kind of like a game night. It's like I prepare as I go. I can prepare by reading in the car, reading on the go, and making notes when I have a chance at night. But like editing, I got to be at the computer. You know what I mean? I got to be at the computer. And so that's the hard part. Yeah, the Barrier Peaks is another one. I got them all. All those Goodman Games ones. It does feel a little long and drawn out, right? There's so many rooms in the Barrier Peak one. But it's a classic, and I understand why it's well respected. So that's something else, working on projects in the future, getting out those videos, become a real YouTuber and put out videos. That would be a goal. Reunions. I think I definitely want to get the Icewind Dale crew back again. We had a awesome reunion for them in the springtime, I think it was, when I had, or maybe it was last year. Jeez, I don't even know when. Let me see. Can I find out when did I run that? Let's go to my channel again. When did I do the Icewind Dale reunion? I was running Radiant Citadels even as early as, or as recent as the spring, right? Maybe I wasn't. I did not. The last Radiant Citadel I ran was Salted Legacy in January, December. That doesn't seem right. But it is. Okay. Salted Legacy was great. If you haven't checked that one out, you probably should. That's a really cool one. That was the first level or second level adventure in Radiant Citadel, which I was not a fan of that series. I've mentioned this before. I won't go into it. But, I did the ones that I thought were really cool. I picked out the ones that grabbed me. That's another thing, too. I read through something, give it a cursory review. If it grabs me, I want to do it. And I did that with about 7 or 8 of those Radiant Citadels. And so the good ones I have up. Yeah, Between Tangle Roots was 10 months ago, so that was almost a year ago. So I'd like to get the Icewind Dale crew in another reunion, whether it's the Golden Key one, that adventure in Icewind Dale, or something of my own making. I had some ideas, but I'm not sure how I want to do it. That's going to be happening hopefully by the end of the before the winter. And then I want to get the Witchlight crew back, because our Witchlight game ended, I think, about a year ago too. No, it ended in October, I think. So almost a year ago. So yeah, I want to get it. I want to get them back on the channel. We just had the tabletop barbecue this weekend. I had Mike over, who played Boppy and Oscar. It was great to see Mike again, and get him back in the channel hopefully soon. Let's see here. Did I do a special 6-part module from that guy with Icewind Dale crew and John? Not sure what you mean, Chris. Special 6-part module from that guy with Icewind Dale crew and John. Who are we talking about? Did I miss something? A homemade module. Maybe I'm not catching something. I don't think so. Icewind Dale crew and John. If I did make something up, it would be... No, I can't think about what it might be. We'll have to double check. I'll look into that one. But I've done a couple of homemade things. I mean, some of the if you're talking about maybe Esper's esoteric adventures, I did one of those. That was fun. And those are, like I said, it's an adventure module. It's a real skeleton, so kind of everything has to be created from you. I did the Icewind Dale, Terror on Ice, Tremors on Ice. Excuse me, Tremors on Ice, and that was all my creation. But I used the setting of Icewind Dale, the Rime of the Frost Maiden events, to set that up. So it was Blood Lament. Maybe it's Blood Lament. But John was in that, but it wasn't the Icewind Dale crew. Stefano was there, but Stefano and Andrew, right? But CJ and Joey were not. So if it was Blood Lament or Esoteric Adventures, some of the Icewind Dale crew were in those. That could have been it. But the one that was more homemade was probably the Lost Things, the Esoteric Encounters, because that was, like I said, a very brief skeleton of an adventure, and I kind of created the meat of it. Blood Lament was something that was really truly an adventure module from Esper. Yeah. Kind of brings me to my next section here, though. Segment here. I want to talk about the collaborations. I've been doing a lot of them actually, and it's been a lot of fun. It's cool to like work with other content creators and just chatting with them between and after. Getting some tips, feedback. It's always a good learning experience. I think that's a good way to grow and kind of do things, make friends that way. So Wally DM, I've been doing a lot on his channel. I did Shadow Dark on his channel. I ran it. I played in the old school Redbox D&D, OD&D. That was fun. So I'm going to try to keep going with the Dungeon Master Roundtable crew. Try to do some more stuff with them. I know Esper has been he's chatted about maybe doing something more. Either playing something that he's developed. I know his Monstrous Heroes Kickstarter is in production, so when maybe that one comes out to promote it more, maybe once it's actually released and he has those books available for the people who didn't back, then we'll maybe do something there. So that's another collab, and yeah, that'll take me through the winter for sure, and even into really through the winter, I should say. All these things that I've kind of talked about, but I want to get that going. Supernatural 20s is coming back. We have 3 adventures that I want to definitely run to finish up season 2, and I'm hoping to get it all done by January. But we'll see. We'll see. I gotta do everything with a grain of salt. You never know when you got kids in the family, things might come up, and real life gets in the way and you have to postpone something, push something back. It's kind of what's happened with everything this year. I kind of wanted to stick to a game a month and keep the ongoing campaigns going, the long form campaigns going. But yeah, it's been a great year. 2023 has been actually really great, and I know that I'll probably do something more of like a year in review, a state of the channel in January, like I did last time. But I know a lot of people have been asking me to just do some more updates like this. If you have questions, now's the time. I'll stick on for a little bit and see if we can answer some questions here. Let me see. Change some music too. Stefano's in the chat. Hey, Stefano. Stefano, you excited for Curse of Strahd? I am. I think Stefano wanted to be in Curse of Strahd like when he first started. Like he wanted to play in it when he first started D&D. Is that correct, Stefano? I think you were like, all right, we'll play Tomb of Annihilation, but like I want to play Curse of Strahd. He had never played before, but he had listened to some Dice Camera Action back in the day when they did their run of it, so he wanted to play through it. Is there a classic D&D module with a dragon theme that would be great to do? Huh. Interesting. Is there... Oh, my light went out. I had a feeling it would go out. I have these little lights. These little LEDs. They're great. A little backlighting, but this one died. Gonna have to charge it for tomorrow. Let's see here. I don't know. Is there a dragon themed module? Yeah, maybe one of the Dragonlance ones. I mean, there is the newer, the Drag Queen of whatever it's called, the Dragonlance one that just came out for 5th edition, but you're thinking classics. I don't think that's it. Um, and I'm okay with converting. Like I know Grim Gary says Dragonlance modules aren't bad, but they aren't written for later rules. I don't mind converting. I find that kind of enjoyable. Like I'm doing it right now with Red Hand of Doom, converting 3rd edition to 5th edition, and I must say 3rd edition was ridiculous. The amount of magical items that they give out, the amount of like +3 swords, just like lying around casually. It's like insane. Um, so I'm happy to do rewriting for a game. Dragons of Autumn, Twilight, and mid 80s. If I'm not mistaken, Steve, are you in the chat? Is that you, Steve? Yeah, Steve's a great resource for old school modules. He knows a lot of them. He's played a lot of them. Let's see here. Trying to get the chat questions answered. Oh, if Jason, if you haven't seen Icewind Dale, oh my God, Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden stream that we did, it was the first like big campaign that we did here on the channel. I know, like we did some Descent into Avernus, we finished up our campaign, but that was like, you saw the last 6 or 7 episodes. The Icewind Dale has a special place in my heart because it was the first channel campaign, full campaign, start to finish, session 0, character creation, all the way through 55, 6, 7 episodes, whatever it is. It's longer than Keep on the Borderlands too. I feel like it was a real adventure, like just like a real classic, like instant classic. Icewind Dale was awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that there's probably a classic D&D module that we could do that has a dragon theme. I just I can't think of it right now. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm going to look into that. That's something I'm going to have to look into. Third-party OS modules? Like the Goodman Games ones you're referring to? Or not sure. Not sure. Yes, Zardarok memes. Yes, Icewind Dale is worth it just for the Zardarok memes. If you know, you know. Matt, 500G Matt. Loved Borderlands. Yeah, Borderlands also. I mean, another special place in my heart because that one, if you haven't seen well, I feel like a lot of people have seen Keep on the Borderlands. I feel like some people might not have seen Icewind Dale because, like I said, it was one of the earlier ones on the channel. But if you came on the channel in the last 2 years, you definitely have seen Keep on the Borderlands come up a lot. And Keep on the Borderlands was really like a mix between a homebrew and not, because the actual Keep on the Borderlands there's really no structure, right? It's like a true skeleton, bare bones. Just gives you some places, some locations, the bad guys to fight. You fill in the rest, right? Even names have to be made by the DM. So, yeah, exactly. It's great. Oh, I see what you're saying. Third-party modules like yes, some Goodman Games, Frog God Games. Yeah, I'm all down. I mean, like I said, I've been doing these new games, right? So like, I loved, and this is 100% going to come back, and we're going to do a real full-blown campaign of this. But Call of Cthulhu is 100% coming back in 2024, without a doubt. Call of Cthulhu will be back. After that game, John, Dasha, Tim, and I were just talked about how awesome it was. I mean, it might be my favorite RPG. It might be my favorite one. It's so cool. Yeah, that's definitely coming back. So I like the third-party games. They'll come back. And like I said, I'm not 100% done with D&D or 100% done with Wizards of the Coast or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm not sure about 6th edition. I'm not sure about 5th edition in the future, right? So I don't know what the deal's going to be. So that's why Curse of Strahd's going to be the game. Going to send out 5th edition with a bang. And and really get it out, get it out there. Pulp Call of Cthulhu, maybe. It's something to think about. I know that there's like actually rules for Pulp Cthulhu, so I got to look into that. I am a bit of a noob when it comes to Cthulhu. I love it. It's really great, but I need to play a full campaign to really, I think, understand it like fully. Like, we touched on some rules, we definitely got some rules wrong, made some corrections, and we got better. But after only playing 3 sessions, I mean, I feel like I can't really say that I know exactly what to expect. And I just like to jump into things, so I'm just going to say we're going to jump into it. We're going to do it for sure. But more announcements than that to come. Probably talk about that in January when I kind of get plans for that. But for right now, the big news, if you're just catching the end of this, big news here, Curse of Strahd coming to the channel, fall of 2023, when Tomb of Horrors is done. We're going to have Andrew, Michelle, Stefano, and Tim run through this classic 5e adventure. And then eventually, actually probably will come before this, but Wrath of Glory, where we're going to have Chris, Andrew, and what did I say before? My cousin Joey and Dasha run through a new game of Wrath and Glory. Learn to play, figure it all out, make some mistakes. Those are the big ones coming up, the near future. So, let's see. Are there any more questions? Then we'll probably close it out here. Yes, I agree. The Grim Gary, the talking about Castle Amber. Yeah, that journey, if you know, you know, that journey in the middle is very different from the rest of the module, and it ends up being really weird. But it's probably the most iconic part of the adventure. It's got the cover art and everything. Let's see here. Tomb of the Lizard King has a black dragon to fight. Okay, Tomb of the Lizard King. I'll have to mark that one down. It's possible. Yeah, Island of Dread is a possibility too. Yeah, I know. That's something I've been interested in. Actually, in Discord, if you're not in the Discord, you should definitely be there. Links are down below. In the Discord, let's get the name right. It is... Who is it? Oh, gosh. Their name is just C now, but I think is it Chris? There's a Chris, or... Yeah, it's Chris. Someone in the... Discord, it's you, by the way, if you're the Chris or the C, the Carl, maybe Chris, whoever it was, they've been posting their updates on Isle of Dread. I love reading them. They're doing Isle of Dread and posting in D&D 5e chat. It's really great to see how other DMs run things and what their players do and how they throw off plans. It's great. Love seeing it. So keep posting if you're there, and let me know who you are. Sometimes I feel like I don't know if your YouTube name is different than your Discord. I won't be able to... Oh, the Grim Gary. That's you doing the Dread thing. Oh. Grim Gary, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, was that you? Why does it say C? I'm looking. Maybe it's just my Discord's a little off, but it says... Oh, it could be the start of a G, but it's like holding your name off. No, it says C. I don't know. Well, thanks, Grim Gary. Appreciate it. Good to now know who it is. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Chance of occasional detours like yawning portal. That's possible. Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it's possible. I mean, a yawning portal game in 5th edition, it just takes a bunch of old ones and... I mean, I guess it could be kind of like a hub where you can go on any adventure, but it's possible. Let's see. Are my familiar Lost Caverns of I know this word. Socanth? I know the one you're talking to. I am familiar with it. I watched who did a review of it? Was it Seth Skorkowski? He might have done one. He might have done a review of it, and I think I've seen it. I've definitely seen a review of it online. Okay, Citizen Grim is your Discord handle. Okay, Grim Gary. Well, that's awesome. Good to know. Now I'll make sure I know. Now I know who it is when you post. Good, excellent. Let's see here. Mirkwood. Yeah, so you put all the kaiju, Godzilla. That's funny. Yeah, it could totally be that type of an adventure for sure. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Lemmy from Motorhead is the barkeep. What's his name? And yeah, I know who you're talking about. He looks like Lemmy. He's got the mustache like feeds into the mutton chops. Yeah, I know who you're talking about from the Yawning Portal. Yeah, yeah. Look, nothing is out of the realm of possibility. I'm not saying I'm not going to do any, you know, specific adventures. The only one I'm probably not going to get to are something that I don't think would necessarily translate to the channel or to like, you know, like there are some adventures that just aren't, I think, something people want to see. Like we don't probably want to see just one big slog of a dungeon, right? That's just probably not great. You know, something that's gonna be hard to adapt to a story. But if it's got legs and it catches my attention, I'm open to doing a lot of stuff here. All right, so it's 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. I'm gonna close out the stream now. If you could do me a favor, thanks for staying on tonight and chatting. Just a little conversation, giving you an update on what's going on. If you could do me a favor, just like this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, already do it. You know, these live streams usually probably, you know, the real people really want to know are going to watch, but the people who are just here casually to watch the shows, they might not care too much. So give this one a like because it'll help the algorithm a little bit on a video that might not do as well. Yeah, and check out the links below for ways to support the channel like we discussed at the beginning. And I'll try to post some more pictures from our tabletop barbecue. I have a couple of them I want to post, and tomorrow I'll let CJ share a picture because he did something pretty cool. So I'll see you in about 23 hours for another episode of Tomb of Horrors. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Gary, Jason, Mr. Blank, Matt, Greyhawk Exile. Always appreciate the support. Everyone else I'm forgetting, Jason and Steve, Stefano, everyone who came in to say hello tonight. Thank you. Appreciate all the support. See you tomorrow. See you on the tabletop.